Hi guys, we're about to start our new unit on speeches. So I'm going to get right started, right into it. What makes a good speech? What makes a bad speech? This is something that we're going to discover as we start our speech unit this quarter in English. So first we're going to start by watching some famous speeches from films. As you watch, think about what qualities make these speeches either really good or really bad. In the first clip we're going to watch, it comes from Scent of a Woman. In Scent of a Woman, Al Pacino plays a retired blind military man who hires a student, Charlie, who's played by Chris O'Donnell. Pacino takes Charlie all over the city in this crazy mad adventure. It's really fun to watch. Meanwhile, Charlie is dealing with his own issues at the moment because he's on school break, but before break started, he witnessed some of his schoolmates pull a crazy prank on the dean of the school, and the students know that the dean knows that Charlie saw it, so the students are trying to bribe Charlie not to say anything, and the dean is threatening to expel Charlie if he doesn't say anything. So at the end of the movie, there's a hearing for Charlie about whether he's going to be expelled or not, and Al Pacino defends Charlie at the hearing. So I want you to listen to his speech and think about what makes it so good and so powerful.
I'm going to recommend to the disciplinary committee that you be expelled. Mr. Sims, you are a cover-up artist and you are a liar.
But not a snitch.
Excuse me?
No, I don't think I will.
Mr. Slade.
This is such a crock of shit.
Please watch your language, Mr. Slade. You are in the Baird School, not a barracks. Mr. Sims, I will give you one final opportunity to speak up.
Mr. Sims doesn't want it. He doesn't need to be labeled still worthy of being a Baird man. What the hell is that? What is your motto here? Boys, inform on your classmates. Save your hide. Anything short of that, we're gonna burn you at the stake? Well, gentlemen, when the shit hits the fan, some guys run and some guys stay. Here's Charlie facing the fire, and there's George hiding in Big Daddy's pocket. And what are you doing? You're gonna reward George and destroy Charlie.
Are you finished, Mr. Slade?
No, I'm just getting warmed up. I don't know who went to this place. William Howard Taft, William Jennings Bryan, William Tell, whoever. Their spirit is dead, if they ever had one. It's gone. You're building a rat ship here. A vessel for seagoing snitches. And if you think you're preparing these minnows for manhood, you better think again. Because I say you are killing the very spirit this institution proclaims it instills. What a sham. What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today? I mean, the only class in this act is sitting next to me, and I'm here to tell you, this boy's soul is intact. It's non-negotiable. You know how I know? Someone here, and I'm not gonna say who, offered to buy it. Only Charlie here wasn't selling.
Sir, you're out of order.
Out of order? I show you out of order. You don't know what out of order is, Mr. Trask. I'd show you, but I'm too old. I'm too tired. I'm too fucking blind. If I were the man I was 5 years ago, I'd take a flamethrower to this place. Out of order. Who the hell do you think you're talking to? I've been around, you know. There was a time I could see, and I have seen. Boys like these, younger than these, their arms torn out, their legs ripped off. But there is nothing like the sight of an amputated spirit. There is no prosthetic for that. You think you're merely sending this splendid foot soldier back home to Argonne with his tail between his legs, but I say you are executing his soul. And why? Because he's not a bad man. Bad men. You hurt this boy, you're gonna be bad bums. The lot of you. And Harry, Jimmy, Trent, wherever you are out there, fuck you too.
Stand down, Mr. Slade.
I'm not finished. As I came in here, I heard those words, cradle of leadership. Well, when the bow breaks, the cradle will fall, and it has fallen here. It has fallen. Makers of men, creators of leaders, be careful what kind of leaders you're producing here. I don't know if Charlie's silence here today is right or wrong. I'm not a judge or jury, but I can tell you this. He won't sell anybody out to buy his future. And that, my friends, is called integrity. That's called courage. Now that's the stuff leaders should be made of. Now I have come to the crossroads in my life. I always knew what the right path was. Without exception, I knew, but I never took it. You know why? It was too damn hard. Now here's Charlie. He's come to the crossroads. He has chosen a path. It's the right path. It's a path made of principle that leads to character. Let him continue on his journey. You hold this boy's future in your hands, committee. It's a valuable future. Believe me, don't destroy it, protect it. Embrace it. It's gonna make you proud one day, I promise you.
So, what was so compelling about Al Pacino's speech? What did he do to capture his audience and persuade them to be on his side? I would say that the first thing that makes his speech so powerful is that he believes what he's saying. He is passionate about his argument. He knows Charlie, and he knows he has strong morals and beliefs, and he uses these beliefs to paint Charlie in a superior way, that he won't be threatened and he won't be swayed with bribery and even losing his place at the school. Pacino talks about what it means to be a Baird man and how it shouldn't mean to be a snitch. He also gives himself credibility by talking about his military background. You know, you'll notice that people don't really like to contradict or disparage someone who's really seen battle and who have fought for our country. Pacino also, finally, he doesn't ramble. He makes quick points and he pretty much just goes right for the jugular, and that's what, in my humble opinion, makes this speech one of the greatest movie speeches in movie history. So, the next speech we're going to watch comes from The Shawshank Redemption, and this movie takes place over the course of 17 years in a prison. Morgan Freeman plays Red, a man who is put in prison because he cuts the brakes on his wife's car and causes her death. Throughout the film, Red is often up for parole, and every time he is in front of the parole board, he gives a speech, a very enthusiastic speech about how he really is now rehabilitated. Pretty much he's blowing smoke up the parole board's rears and telling them what he thinks they want to hear. This final time that he's up for parole, Red gives this following speech. And as you watch, I'd like you to think about what makes this a really good speech.
Please sit down. Ellis Boyd Redding, your files say you've served 40 years of a life sentence. You feel you've been rehabilitated?
Rehabilitated? Well, now, let me see. You know, I don't have any idea what that means.
Well, it means you're ready to rejoin society.
I know what you think it means, Sonny. To me, it's just a made-up word. A politician's word, so that Young fellas like yourself can wear a suit and a tie and have a job. What do you really want to know? Am I sorry for what I did?
Well, are you?
There's not a day goes by I don't feel regret. Not because I'm in here, because you think I should. I look back on the way I was then. A young, stupid kid who committed that terrible crime. I want to talk to him. I want to try to talk some sense to him. Tell him the way things are. But I can't. That kid's long gone, and this old man is all that's left. I gotta live with that. Rehabilitated is just a bullshit word. So you go on and stamp your form, Sonny, and stop wasting my time. Because to tell you the truth, I don't give a shit.
So I have shared with you in your Google Classroom a chart about what makes a good speech. In a moment, you're going to look at that chart, and the chart asks you to write down what made the two speeches good speeches. You'll see that I filled out the first example based upon Al Pacino's speech in Scent of a Woman. So take a moment now, and you're going to look at the chart and fill out your ideas on why Red's speech was so good in this scene. And when you're finished, you're going to come back to this video and continue watching. So I'm going to let you pause here. Okay, now you're back. And we're going to watch one more famous movie speech, and this is from Good Will Hunting. In this film, Matt Damon plays Will Hunting, a working-class genius who lives in South Boston, gets into trouble, and as a result is put into mandatory therapy. He meets with Sean, who's played by the wonderful Robin Williams, and in their first meeting, Will really gets under Williams' skin, Sean's skin, by insulting his wife, his life, and basically everything about him. In this scene that I'm going to show you, Sean pretty much puts Will back in his place in the most beautiful way possible. And I want you to watch the speech and just think about, as you're watching it, what makes it so powerful.
So what's this? A taster's choice moment between guys?
This is really nice. You got a thing for swans? Is this like a fetish? It's something like maybe we need to devote some time to?
Thought about what you said to me the other day about my painting. Stayed up half the night thinking about it. Something occurred to me. I fell into a deep, peaceful sleep and haven't thought about you since. You know what occurred to me?
No.
You're just a kid. You don't have the faintest idea what you're talking about.
Why, thank you.
It's all right. You've never been out of Boston.
Nope.
So if I asked you about art, you'd probably give me the skinny on every art book ever written. Michelangelo. I know a lot about him. Life's work, political aspirations, him and the Pope, sexual orientation, the whole works, right? I bet you can't tell me what it smells like in the Sistine Chapel. You never actually stood there and looked up at that beautiful ceiling. Seen that. If I ask you about women, you probably give me a syllabus of your personal favorites. You may have even been laid a few times. But you can't tell me what it feels like to wake up next to a woman and feel truly happy. You're a tough kid. I ask you about war, you probably throw Shakespeare at me, right? Once more into the breach, dear friends. But you've never been near one. You've never held your best friend's head in your lap and watch him gasp his last breath looking to you for help. I ask you about love, you probably quote me a sonnet. But you've never looked at a woman and been totally vulnerable. Known someone that could level you with her eyes. Feeling like God put an angel on earth just for you. Who could rescue you from the depths of hell. And you wouldn't know what it's like to be her angel. To have that love for her be there forever. Through anything. Through cancer. And you would know about sitting up in a hospital room for 2 months, holding her hand, because the doctors could see in your eyes that the terms visiting hours don't apply to you. You don't know about real loss, because that only occurs when you love something more than you love yourself. I doubt you've ever dared to love anybody that much. I look at you, I don't see an intelligent, confident man. I see a cocky, scared, shitless kid. But you're a genius, Will. No one denies that. No one could possibly understand the depths of you. But you presume to know everything about me because you saw a painting of mine. You ripped my fucking life apart. You're an orphan, right? Do you think I'd know the first thing about how hard your life has been? How you feel? Who you are? Because I read Oliver Twist? Does that encapsulate you? Personally, I don't give a shit about all that, because you know what? I can't learn anything from you. I can't read in some fucking book. Unless you want to talk about you, who you are. Then I'm fascinated. I'm in. But you don't want to do that, do you, Sport? You're terrified of what you might say. Your move, Chief.
Robin Williams' speech so strong? Why was it so powerful and so compelling and kind of left Will so affected? What you're going to do when this video is over is I want you to go back to your Google Classroom and I want you to go back to the chart you're filling out and fill out what made this speech so powerful and so affecting. Once you're done with your chart, I want you to share your work with me in Google Classrooms. Good luck. Please email me, text me, call me. If you have any questions whatsoever, I would love to help you and talk to you. I'm here for you no matter what. And I hope that you enjoyed the speeches. And I hope you have a great day.